Yep. Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. This time, I'm going full force.
Hello, in your head and wrestling fans around the IWC and around the entire wrestling community. My name is XVIII of InYourHeadOnline.com. I am about to say something that really bothers me and really upsets me. I apologize to everyone in advance for my actions and my outright stupidity, because I have made a very terrible mistake in the following program that's about to be shown. Would you please find it in your hearts to forgive me that I didn't know how to do this. In my hype, in my opinions about this topic, I regret to inform that I mentioned that this version of the Secluded Paradyme was the 17th edition, and it's really the 18th! I'm so sorry! I'm sorry! Please forgive me! I'm so sorry! Please! Enough! Hello peeps and peepettes of the In Your Head Headyverse. I am XVIII of InYourHeadOnline.com. You're watching the Secluded Paradyme number 17. I'm rocking the Eddie Guerrero t-shirt. Rest in peace, my friend, with the red shirt. I've got a black one as well. Thought I should wear the red one. It kind of matches the deck. The deck looks fantastic. The background scenery looks fantastic. And you know what? I'm not going to go by the motions as usual with this version of the Secluded Paradyme, because it's not necessary. This is going to be more hip. This is going to be more fun. And quite frankly, I've had enough of the criticism that this guy, the person who will be featured on the Secluded Paradyme number 17 today, has been receiving from the internet wrestling community, has been received by so many people around the world. Today on the Paradyme, we set the story straight, because Jumpin Jeff Farmer is the subject of the Paradyme today. Now, I could bore you with a very, very long script about this individual's career in the world of professional wrestling. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be complex, difficult at all to ascertain what I'm about to feed you right now about Jumpin Jeff Farmer on this show today. This isn't going to be one of those 40-minute shows in which I detail a superstar or a faction's career or time in a territory or whatever in professional wrestling. This is Jumpin Jeff Farmer, the man who should not only be in the WWE Hall of Fame, but somebody who should at least get the recognition he deserves. This superstar, this icon, this main event, he's no Shawn Michaels, but he damn sure made his mark in the world of professional wrestling. He got all of your attentions, and on the Paradigm today, he's going to get your attention again. Because guess what? With the help of the best journalists in the world today, Scoops McGee, the official insider for In Your Head Wrestling, and the IWC, screw you Dave Meltzer, Scoops is the man. Me, and Scoops, we have raised the bar. I'm not going to tell you what we have in store right now, because that's in a couple of segments away. But you better be rest assured that we have a scoop for you, and you better be paying attention, because this is probably the only time he is ever going to talk. So you better watch the show. The Paradigm is here. Number 17, featuring Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Now, coming up next, after the short video clip, so you can get a little gist of what I'm talking about Jumpin Jeff Farmer, if you haven't checked out his awesomeness. I will discuss the guy's career very, very briefly, because there's not that much to say. The guy is so awesome. He doesn't need a long list of non-derogatory adjectives to explain how awesome he is. But enjoy this video clip, because there's a series of them to come. They're awesome. You've seen them on YouTube, so why not see them on the Paradigm?
Earlier we talked to Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Let's go now to that interview. Folks, there's Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep. Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it when things aren't going my way. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in a wrong way. You got me mad now. I've stood around. I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary. But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry. Now I'm the one doing the challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Motley Cruz. Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Now let's go to the ring. Folks, there's Jumpin Jeff Farmer.
Well, he did it. Pinned me right there in the middle of the ring. There's always a lesson to be learned every time you step in the ring. And Motley Cruz, you taught me one very good lesson. You took me out of my game plan. I couldn't wrestle my kind of match. Believe me, I learned, and I learned well. It don't take me long. Next time I get you in the ring, you're mine. New tactics, new game plan. You're mine.
Yo, what's up, peeps and peepettes, and welcome back to the Secluded Paradyme, number 17. I am XVIII of InYourHeadOnline.com again, coming at you. I'm calm, I'm collected now. I'm not as upset as I was before, but now it's time to talk about Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Why this guy is so popular amongst the internet wrestling community, and also why and how Jumpin Jeff Farmer became Jumpin Jeff Farmer. Now, Jumpin Jeff Farmer, as many of you do know, wrestled in IPW, International Pro Wrestling. If you've never heard of it, there's probably a reason why that is the case. most likely it's because it really wasn't a popular wrestling organization. It was based out of Arkansas, very run-of-the-mill kind of territory where superstars passed and went. Superstars were all over the place back in those days after the territories folded in these independent organizations. This is just one of those organizations during the tail end and at the end of the territory era, the late 80s and early 90s, that you would see come up throughout the entire United States. Basically North America, if you want to go that far. But Jumpin Jeff Farmer, guys like Motley Cruz and Jumpin Jeff Farmer, they were a part of IPW. Jumpin Jeff Farmer, for those of you who are in a cave and don't know who this individual is by now, basically a very small stature, kind of light wrestler, very, very young, very, very green, which is basically wrestling jargon for not experienced, don't know that much about the nuances of professional wrestling and how to get your character over. Little would Jumpin Jeff Farmer know that he could definitely get his character over. Why he's an icon, a legend, a main event, a superstar, is because he can cut one hell of a promo. It may look absolutely horrible, but my goodness, it's memorable, which is what you want. But Jumpin Jeff Farmer was in an angle with Motley Cruz. Now, Motley Cruz, don't get that confused with the rock band Motley Crue. This guy definitely wasn't a rocker, but I'm gonna tell you this: he looked like Jimmy Jam Garvin, only 30 pounds heavier, a little weaker in the mustache, the beard, and the curly hair, but it was there. And he kind of had a swagger about him, more in a country hit kind of way. IPW thought it would be very, very smart to put this ring guy against a so-called veteran, mid-card to lower-card individual, Motley Cruz, against Jumpin Jeff Farmer. And all those two would be a hot commodity in IPW, a feud that people would get behind. People got behind it. It was a classic babyface versus heel kind of like storyline, but don't kid yourself. Both of these guys were not very great when it came to in-ring talent. I've seen their matches, many of you have seen their matches, and they're not stellar by any means. However, I will say this: I can't believe 20 plus years later this has become such a hit YouTube sensation, a tube site sensation as it has. And mostly it has to do with Jumpin Jeff Farmer and his promos. Now, Jumpin Jeff Farmer, I will say this: inside the ring, he may have been the crafts, but I will say this: the guy came across as somebody, if given a few more years of this business, might have been halfway decent to the point where he'll be to jobber status in WCW or jobber status in the WWE, but it just wasn't meant for him. What was meant for Jumpin Jeff Farmer is this: to be not necessarily the butt of any joke, but be the so-called country hip sensation as he was on YouTube, as he had come on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Now I'm going to show you yet another clip in regards to this so-called Jumpin Jeff Farmer experience in international pro wrestling based out of Arkansas. I hope you guys and gals enjoy it. I will be back very shortly to discuss some more situations, some more things about Jumpin Jeff Farmer and his time in IPW. This is going to be very short because there's not that much more to cover. Basically, Jumpin Jeff Farmer is jokes, hilarious times with friends and family who want to go around YouTube and search the awesomeness that is Jumpin Jeff Farmer and his yup status, and also to just get the story straight on Jumpin Jeff Farmer and hear it from a very, very important person in this entire situation. And he will be here on the Paradyme because Scoops and I found him. So, without further ado, check out this clip with Buddy Lee, the announcer.